Hey everybody, alright, I am going to do an abrasion tutorial. Hopefully no one gets abrasions because you're stuck inside. Hope you're all doing alright. I'm going to be using Ben Nye wound wheel, some fake blood, some of the shadow, stipple sponge, and then some blush. So let's do this. So the first thing I want to do is use some of my red to block out an area. So I've got a little red on this sponge and I'm gonna just dot out where I want this scrape to be. And I don't want it to go too crazy because it's gonna show up. You want to build it rather than go all in. It's easier to add than take away.
So, you see it starting to show up, like that.
Then, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of yellow to kind of vary the color. So I've got my sponge again, yellow on the wheel. This is my makeup, so I'm using my own stuff. I'm just gonna go over the same area, and I'm going to take my spoolie and spin it in the red. Use this to create my abrasion. So you can see lines are being created. I'm gonna take the sponge, take away some of this.
Just blend it out a bit.
Angled flat brush. And we're gonna go into the shadow. And we're going to do a couple of lines in the shadow. Sorry, I cannot see if I let you see. Sorry. So as you can see, it's getting darker. We're going to get our stipple a little shadowed. Stipple in here. Then go ahead and dip it in the red. And I've got my blood, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab a tiny brush. And just really lightly add it in. As you can see, it's making it brighter. Make sure you're going in vertical lines like your blood would go. And you can make the middle a little thicker because that's where it would be the most torn up. I'm actually going to get a little bit on my stipple. Do not share these, by the way. Please don't. So I'm just gonna bring a little bit of this blended out because I made this a little bigger than I meant to. I really fell fucking down. And there you have it. Nice little abrasion. Alright everybody, we've done abrasion here, home abrasion with lipstick, and now we're gonna do a face abrasion. But use what you've got, do your best. Let's have some fun. So I'm gonna begin this again with coloring out the areas in which are gonna have the worst impact. So I'm gonna start with the red, just like I did on this one. And I'm gonna go for the side of my cheek up to my eye, okay? I'm gonna lightly hit the higher parts. I'm gonna get a lot more on my cheekbone because it would really get hit. Then I'm gonna move up to the brow bone. So I'm really trying to get darker in the spots that would have gotten hit the worst. So then next, I'm gonna go back in with yellow. Because it really gives it that dimension. Alright, so then from there, with a bit of shadow, I'm going to use my stipple for this. I'm just going to do this on areas that I really want the injury to have occurred. So, a little there. So I want to add lines where I think it's going to be the most distinct, and I'm doing the dark shadow color. So I'm going to start down here and keep in mind the direction in which you fell. And then do a tiny little bit over here. One of the things I want to do now is kind of blend this stuff out a little bit because right now it's a little intense. So I'm going to go in with a sponge, use a beauty blender, whatever you got. Use your fingers if you have to. Okay, so then from here, I'm going to go ahead and get my handy dandy blood. I'm going to go ahead and grab a small brush again. I'm going to put the biggest one here. So I'm going to get it up into the eyebrow, and this area is our biggest injury spot, and then the rest is going to be, so we're going to smooth this out. Let's really go ahead and get in there. Go ahead and get that in there. above your eyebrow. And then what I'm gonna do is paint some on my stipple, a little on the nose. Then, if you really want to make it look like this is an exposed spot, what I'm gonna do is go back in with the original red we started with, and I'm just gonna fill that in. I think I've gone a little far here, so to back it up a bit, I'm gonna add a bit more of the yellow. So, got some of that. Then, like I did before, powder some red, and then if you've gone a little far, go ahead and add a little skin back in. And there you have it. Very intense abrasion. Okay, everybody, my last one is going to be the simplest. Go ahead and start by getting some red and do some lines. Go ahead and add a little bit of yellow for dimension. Next, what I want you to do is go in with a sharp angled brush in the red and do your lines. Then go ahead and stipple a little red onto it, okay? Careful not to do too much. If you go a little far, just blend it in. And then what you'll want to do from there is go ahead, give yourself a little shadow. And then what I like to do to make it a little brighter is add some bright red blush. Give it that little gummy look. Add some spirit gum to give it that real abrasion look. And you might have to go back in with a darker color to highlight some of these lines. And as you can see, I've made mine a little dark. So I'm gonna go back in and blend a little bit of it out. Put a lot of dark red in the middle. I like to add a little yellow as well. I think it gives it a little dimension. Oop, that's too much yellow though, friends. So blot that out a little bit. I think the reason that one looks so successful is the spirit gum. So just gonna don't forget I want to go in and blend, be my guest. And then I just want to blend up a little tiny bit more red. Around the area. The spoolie works great to create some of these lines too. So there you have it.